Hello students, I'm Dr. Himanshu Kandpal, Assistant Professor English, Government MS College for Women, Bikaner. Today we are going to start a new poem, The Love Song of Alfred, Prufrock, written by Thomas Stearns Eliot, one of the greatest modern poets who belongs to both the American and British traditions. About the poet. Thomas Stearns Eliot is one of the most influential literary figures of the 20th century. He was a poet, playwright, literary critic, and publisher. Born in America, Eliot subsequently shifted to England in 1915. He was educated at Harvard University and Oxford University. In 1927, Eliot became a British citizen, and about the same time he entered the Anglican Church. Eliot gave a new shape to 20th century poetry by defying conventions. His poetry was reflective of the angst of the modern civilization. Eliot's growth as a poet is clearly seen in his works, as there is a perceptible change in the tenor of his later years. Apart from his famous poems, Eliot wrote several plays and experimented with poetic drama. The Wasteland, written about 1922, The Love Song of Alfred, Prufrock, written about 1917, and Four Quartets, written about 1943, were the poems which gave him a cult following and established new trends in poetry. These were the poems which set new trends. Writing in the tradition of the metaphysical poets, he adapted cinematic techniques and the stream of consciousness mode to poetic use. He created rhythms and images which were modern and reflected the tensions of contemporary life. His poetry, like his prose, is marked by dissatisfaction with the cultural and social situation. There's a strong conservative element in this dissatisfaction. So, Eliot attained tremendous success through his literary essays as well as his plays. Eliot's plays Murder in the Cathedral, The Family Reunion, The Cocktail Party, The Confidential Clerk, and The Elder Statesman were published in one volume in 1962. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1948. Now we move on to the introduction to the poem. The Love Song of Alfred Prufrock is one of the early poems of Eliot, aiming at exposing the sordid nature of modern civilization. Sordid means unpleasant nature of modern civilization, the purposeless lives of people, and the monotony of routine in human life. The poem also brings to limelight the hollowness. Hollowness means emptiness, and hypocrisy. Hypocrisy means false appearance of virtue or goodness of modern civilization. So the poems bring to limelight the emptiness and false appearance of virtues of modern civilization. This poem reveals the psyche of a man who lives in the inferno of modern life. Inferno means burning fiercely. Here the reference is to burning fire in hell, and this reference is taken from Dante's Divine Comedy. Prufrock is a citizen of Eliot's poetic world, a thorough representative of the disillusioned modern world. He is an incarnation of modern man, well educated, over civilized, highly eloquent, but emotionally sterile. So, The central human figure in the poem is Prufrock. He is a sophisticated man of the town whose emotional springs have gone dry. He is going to what he is doing in the poem? He is going to a sophisticated party, apparently a ladies' occasion of cultural kind. But Prufrock, however, here has a special mission, for he is in love with one of the ladies and he is going to declare it. But he is an irresolute person for whom the simplest decision is a matter of strain, speculation, and distress. He finds that he is too timid, too shy to propose to the lady. So the whole drama occurs in the Prufrock's mind. Prufrock does not move from his place. So the poem opens with an epigraph. Epigraph means a short quotation which is borrowed from Dante's Inferno, and it elucidates the theme of the poem and the nature of the hero. Through the epigraph, Eliot suggests that there is a similarity between the life of Inferno and the life of Inferno. Inferno means hell, life of hell, and the life of modern city, where there is barrenness, tedium, and lack of communication. In this poem, Eliot has experimented with dramatic monologue and modified it by eliminating the implied listener. Implied listener means audience or listener imagined by the speaker. There is no implied listener in the poem, and everything that happens in the poem is that occurs in Prufrock's mind. This is in fact a interior monologue. The indoor and outdoor scenes of the poem are indeed the psychological landscape of Prufrock as they harmonize with Prufrock's mental state. His inner restlessness is echoed by the outer surroundings. Prufrock, the protagonist, seems to be addressing a potential lover and passionately desires to propose to her, but lacks the courage to do so. His mind goes through visions and revisions, but he hesitates in making the desired move. His love song is a song of indecision and timidity. The poem also develops a theme of frustration and emotional conflict, which is the hallmark of modern world. The tragedy of Prufrock is the tragedy of modern hollow man. The poem is composed in irregularity, rhyming paragraphs with variation in the length of the lines, use of refrain, repetition, fragmentation, and juxtaposition. Juxtaposition means the fact of putting things that are not similar next to each other are noteworthy traits of this poem. So we can say that T.S. Eliot has been described as one holding the key of modern poetry in his open hand and then unlocking its door. As he flings open the door, we enter a strange world of people, as we see in this poem, Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, who have as if just escaped from the broader and vaster life outside and have found a retreat into this new inferno. It is said that human nature seldom changes, and these denizens of Eliot's inferno are basically similar to their predecessors in the realm of poetry. But in giving them vitality and individuality, Eliot has evolved a new pattern in poetic technique and achieved a remarkable position in the history of poetical invention. This is all about the poet and the poem. Thank you.